record, and hit present. Okay, awesome. So today's call is all about the role of a coach, understanding the role of a coach. And I decided to do this topic because I've been speaking to a few coaches over the past week. And it's actually, I had a guest speaker who was going to speak today, but she can't make it. So I was like, oh, what am I going to do for a topic? But I thought this would be a perfect call. There will be a guest speaking call on Monday at 5 p.m. I'll figure out the time, but I think it's 8 p.m. Eastern. But I want to talk today about the understanding the role of a coach. And the reason why I wanted to make this one, especially as we're kicking off or re-kicking off our team calls, and I'm so excited that you guys are on the call tonight and that we have people who are joining in, but is really just to take some time to make sure that we really are understanding what we do as a coach and really kind of share with you guys a bit more of kind of some of the things that we should really be focusing on as the role of coach. Because I think that sometimes we get stuck on one aspect of what we do, but we don't do all of the things that we really need to do. And that just leaves us with, saying, oh, this business isn't working and, this is really difficult. And so I just really wanted to really do that. So as we get, started with that and kind of talking a little bit more of coaching and different things like that. The first thing that we should think about our role as a coach is what is a coach, right? And a coach is if you really want to think about it, it's one who instructs, one who trains. That's what they kind of say like a coach is. But what I want to do is challenge you guys to really think about it when you're thinking about looking for a coach for something. What are the things that you look for? What are the things that are going to be really important to you as a coach? So kind of think about that as we go through this process, because we'll do a little thing at the very end. But really, when you think about it, what we do as coaches, as Beachbody coaches, I like to break it down into 3 different categories. First, we lead by example. Second, we motivate and inspire others. And 3, we offer support and structure. And this is, I think, something that I think we can all agree on, that these are the 3 pillars that we do. And also what I will say is these are kind of like the 3 levels of coaching, if you even think about it that way. Most coaches start out in this business because they really are, just kind of working on themselves, and they've either joined a challenge group or they're already doing it. They're already posting on social media. They're already sharing their meals. They're already sharing really powerful, motivational messages. They're already helping people when they reach out to them. They're already doing that. So they've already kind of started that process. So that's how most coaches kind of start off. Then they move into being a bit more motivating and inspirational. So they really start to dig in and be a little bit more purposeful and have more intent when it comes to what they're doing with their social media, with how they're working with people. And then the third part is offering that support and structure. And this is where I would say number 3, this is really where the rubber hits the road. And this is where you see your business take off. So I just want to break down each of these. But one thing that I will say is that coaches are not fitness or nutrition experts, nor are they perfect. This isn't about being the perfect shape, the perfect size, eating the perfect meals, always working out, always doing things. Like, that's not what this is about. And I never want anyone on this team or anyone who's thinking about coaching to think that you have to be perfect to be a coach. But when you are talking to people or explaining what you do as a coach, or you're explaining to people what coaching is about, I mean, this really is it. We're not walking around saying that we have it all figured out. We're just saying that, listen, we lead by example, we motivate and inspire, and we offer structure and support to people. That's what we do. And when I talk to people, when people ask, like, what do I do? I actually say that I'm a healthy lifestyle coach. And I lead by example with my own healthy lifestyle habits I've created. I try to motivate and inspire people to live a healthier lifestyle. And I offer support and structure for them to actually make it a lifestyle. But really, at the end of the day, we're not perfect. We're not, we don't have it all figured out, but we simply have a heart to help others while we help ourselves. And that's really what we're doing. So I want to break things down just a little bit. So the first thing is leading by example, okay? So the first thing is we have to remember it starts with you. And that means a commitment to a Beachbody program. If you are a coach, I don't care if you are 3 days in or you are 7 years in, and you are not consistently picking a Beachbody program and doing it full out, then that's going to be a big indicator there that you're already not where you need to be. Thanks. I'm going to try to read the messages as well. But yeah, this picture was taken when I was at the New Leaders Conference. This was actually when the 21 Day Fix Extreme was released, and I got to work out with Autumn and a bunch of other Star Diamond coaches. But you have to commit to a program. You have to drink your Shakeology. These things are so important. And I understand that for some people, it's kind of like, well, I'll just start with this. And, I will use Shaylin as a perfect example. She was a coach who came to me. We connected via YouTube. We talked a lot. I loved her vision. I loved her passion. I loved everything she was about. She became a coach. She did not want to do Shakeology. And I said, that's fine. And, I even told her it may be a little bit more difficult to build your business without it, but it definitely is something that it's still possible. Well, she ended up deciding that coaching wasn't for her. But then she came back around, and I was super excited because I was like, oh my gosh, she's going to be such a great coach on this team. And she made the commitment to try Shakeology, and she was still skeptical, but she tried it. She drank it every single day. She did it with size. She lost weight. She had all this great energy. And she could really tell that she was leading by example. She was actually making that commitment. And it allowed her to really experience the programs and the products and to get results. Also, and that was a big shift in her business and a shift in a lot of different things. And you also want to make sure that you're investing with personal development, you guys. This is it. At the core minimum, if you're a brand new coach or you're a coach right now who has been inconsistent with your journey thus far, then use this time. Make the commitment today and say, today, I'm going to recommit. I'm going to pick a Beachbody program. Shift Shop just came out. Why don't you commit to doing that program? Commit to drinking your Shakeology during the 21 days of Shift Shop. And while you're doing Shift Shop, which is also a perfect personal development program because Chris Downing is like this super amazing motivator. If you do those 3 things for 21 days, you know that things are going to change in your life. Things are going to change in your body. Things are going to change in your health. So if you make that commitment to a program, drinking your Shakeology, and your personal development, you know things are going to change. And the reality is, this is so important because it's going to allow you to build belief in the products and the programs, you guys. This is where the magic happens. When you can say, I tried this program and Shakeology for 21 days and I got amazing results. You now know that these programs and these products work. No one can tell you that they don't because you did it. And the proof is in the photos. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the work that you did. No one can take that progress away from you. When you have a fundamental belief that Shakeology can really change your life and that the Beachbody program that you chose really does get results, and you've been trying for the past 10, 15, 20 years of your life to finally lose weight and to get, to see changes in your life, and you finally have it happen, then that's motivation right there. The second thing is it builds belief in the process, because a lot of people that you're going to work with, they don't believe in the process. They don't believe that it's going to work. They don't believe that with hard work, eating clean and working out, that they can get things changed. And that's why they go to all the quick fix. They go to all these, wraps and pills and fad diets because they don't believe this process can work. But if you can show them and you can explain to them and share your belief in the process through your proof of the belief in the products and the programs, people will want to do it with you. People will want to follow you. People will want to join you because of that fundamental belief. That is why it's so important that you're constantly making sure that you're getting the results and that you're really sticking with your programs and products. And the last thing that I'll say is that what's really great about when you commit to a program, when you commit to your Shakeology, when you commit to the personal development, you build belief in yourself. You build belief that you can do this, that you can get results, that you can change your body, you can change your health, you can change the lives of other people because you've done it. This is so important. And I think that, and I talked about it earlier, guys, a lot of you guys aren't pushing forward in your business because you don't have that belief either in the programs or the products, you don't have belief in the process, or you don't have belief in yourself. And I would say it right now, like if you're willing to be honest, out of these three, which one do you feel is hindering your process in this business? Is it belief in the products and the programs? Is it belief in the process? Or is it belief in yourself? One of these three things, it's like a three-legged table. If you don't have belief in the programs and the products, belief in the process, and belief in yourself, if one thing is off, the whole structure falls apart. And that's so important. That is so critical. You have to have all four. You have to have all three of these in place, because if you don't, you won't believe it. You have to make sure you have belief in the products and the programs. You have to believe in the process, and you have to believe in yourself. All right, next thing. So let's talk about how we motivate and inspire others. You have to believe in the power of your message. This is where we really start this process, okay? After you have started you've gotten results, you're committed to the programs and products, you're doing all these amazing things, you're investing in personal development, you're really just making great strides in your business, this is where your message becomes so important and how we begin to motivate and inspire other people. This is why I always encourage you guys to share your journey with others. You have to do this. You have to be able to share. If you are not willing to share, then you're pretty much just a coach who's just working on themselves, and you're just kind of posting stuff, and that's about it. You're kind of preventing yourself from moving forward in this business. And so it's all about sharing your experience, sharing your story, sharing your journey, sharing your results, sharing other resources. When you start to do these things, it opens up the door for you to connect with others and build relationships. Think about your day. You guys, I shared with you a whole thing that breaks down what you can share every single day on social media for a month. Okay, I literally gave you 4 categories and seven post ideas in those categories. That means that's like 4 weeks worth of posts right there. If you just picked one post a day or one of those things, you can have some really great conversations and traction. But if you're not sharing how you're able to work out with friends and enjoy working out outside and whatever, or sharing your meals and sharing how your eating habits have changed, sharing the results of other people, and sharing how they're getting great results with the program, sharing your own results, sharing your struggles, sharing sometimes when you don't feel like working out but you do it anyway. Why did you work out? Why did you make the decision to press play when you didn't feel like it? Why do you love Shakeology? How has it helped you? How has coaching helped your life? Cheryl just posted how Beachbody coaching has helped her to be more optimistic and be a more grateful person because through her personal development. She also shared last week that Beachbody coaching helped her to pay off one of her debts. When you share things like that, it allows people to think, if she can do it, so can I. If she's able to change her eating habits when I knew her back when, I had people say, Allison, I remember when we used to live off of mozzarella sticks. I remember when we used to drink our body weight in tequila and vodka. I remember when we would work out at the gym for like 20 minutes, start sweating, leave the gym, and go get sushi and sake. And now I see you here 7 years later, still committed to this. What is it? So I want to know how to change. This is really where it starts to shift, where the magic starts to happen when you start to share. But here, this is to be totally honest. If you aren't leading by example, you have nothing to share when it comes to this sphere. Because you don't have belief in the programs and the products, you don't have belief in the process, you don't have belief in yourself. So of course you're not going to share your journey. Why? Because you feel bad. You feel like a hypocrite. And so many times I find that as coaches, and that's why I say we're not perfect. And we're going to go through times where we just fall off. But let me tell you something. Last week, I had a doozy of a week where I didn't have an appetite. And then when I did get my appetite back, all I wanted was a burger and fries and milkshake and all this stuff. And you know what? Instead of pretending that that wasn't the case, I posted in my clean eating group and said, you guys, I'm having a rough week. And I had people messaging me saying, you know what, do what's best for you. You're going to be able to bounce back from this, and all these different things. And it was just so amazing. And so many people said, thank you for being honest. Thank you for being transparent. Yes, sharing all this stuff is great. These are the highlights. But don't be afraid to also share your struggles, share what you're going through. Don't feel that you have to struggle in silence or solitude. Open up to your people, because when they see that you're human, when they see that you are real, it only makes them want to connect with you even more, because now they know they can be vulnerable in front of you. Now they know that they can trust you with their health, with their wellness. That's really a big thing about that. Sorry, hopefully you guys can hear this. I think Dara said it's kind of choppy. But that's really where the pavement and the magic starts to happen. So don't be afraid to share the ups and the downs, because this is where people are going to connect with you. You don't have to be perfect. Just be real. All right, let's see what's next here. So like I said, as you share your story, people will start to connect. And this is where you want to start focusing on building relationships and figuring out how you can help. This shift right here, when you build your belief in the programs and the products and the process in yourself, and you start to share your story, and you just start to share what it is that you're going through, sharing your recipes, sharing your tips, sharing all these different things, when you get to that point and you can do that, people will reach out, people will want to connect with you, and this is where your business begins to take off. This is where you begin to start to hold people accountable with your challenge groups. Your role as a coach is to be there for your people and don't let them give up. That's it. That is our goal, holding people accountable to the goals that they share with you. And the way we do that is through hosting challenge groups. Challenge groups are the key to a successful business. Why? Because this is how you're going to generate income. Okay? Every person that joins a challenge group with the challenge pack now creates income for you and your business. On top of that, it allows you to hit Success Club, which is the benchmark. The coaches that are hitting Success Club every single month are the coaches that are seeing not only their income grow, that are not only seeing their residual income continue. So month after month, they're continuing to get more income. It compounds over time. They're also they're building their teams, because that means that they have something to invite to. It also shows that they're doing the vital behaviors. It also shows that they're being consistent in their business. If you want to know if you're being I can tell if you're being consistent in your business, one, by looking at how you're connecting with people through social media and how you're hitting Success Club. Even if you don't hit Success Club, but you're still getting points every month, at least I know you're doing the vital behaviors consistently and you're doing the right things. Also, through challenge groups, you start to get rank advancement. And this is for people that are like, you know what, I really want to utilize Beachbody as a tool to help me to reach my goals, to get out of debt, to quit my job, to have more disposable income, to travel more. When you have that starts from your challenge groups. That's where it begins to happen, because you're doing that. And the rank advancement happens because as you have challengers who get great results and continue to stick with the products, guess what they're doing? They're at step 1 because they're leading by example. And now you can talk to them about how they're probably inspiring and motivating people. So the next step for them is to sign up to be a coach, because they're already doing the first 2 pillars of being a coach. And now you just want to work with them to help them to build a business around what they're already doing. As you rank advance, as you go from emerald to diamond to star diamond, you're going to start seeing the residual and the financial benefits that come from building your business through your challenge groups. And ultimately, through that financial freedom comes a life of freedom. When you don't have to worry about money, when you don't have to worry about bills or debt, And take it from me, I have been in some crazy debt. And I remember there was a time where I lived off of black bean burgers, sweet potato fries, and Shakeology. And that was my diet for months. Months. That's what I lived off of. It was the only thing that I knew would be filling enough for me and that would give me energy and that I could deal with. Because once a month I would pay that, the monthly fee for Shakeology, like that 90 something dollars, and then just black bean burgers and maybe some fruit, frozen fruit and almond milk. And that was pretty much my diet for a few months. And I remember I turned the ringer off my cell phone. So my phone was always on silent because every time the phone rang, it was a creditor. It was someone asking me to pay bills that I didn't have money to pay. And in that same moment, that's when I really got serious about my Beachbody business. And Beachbody really started to change. My business started to change. Through that. And it was because I got really focused on going back to the basics, leading by example. Even during that time when I had no money, I was doing Les Mills Combat. I was drinking my Shakeology and I was sharing. I was sharing. I was inspiring people when I didn't even have money in the bank. I remember getting a letter from my insurance company telling me, and mind you, I was driving a Mercedes CLK and I couldn't even pay my insurance on my car. So I couldn't even drive my car because I didn't have insurance. And I remember sitting in my garage in my car crying, and I was leaving the next day to go to Summit. Luckily my Summit ticket was already paid for, my hotel was already paid for, and I literally just brought all my Shakeology and a bunch of like just snacks and just, went to Vegas. And that's what I did. And I remember sitting in the stands in Vegas and saying, I'm going to be on that stage next year. I'm not going to be in this financial situation next year. And I pushed it. I went back to the basics because I was already sharing. I was already doing that stuff. I started to invite people to challenge groups and turned it all around. So I share that with you guys to know that I know that we've all been through struggles in this business, but to know that you can turn it around if you choose to. So now I want to share with you guys some tips about how to really rock your challenge groups. The first thing that's important, you guys, is you have to be consistent. You have to make sure that you're hosting your challenge groups the same time each month. This is important because when people can see that you're being consistent, they may not be able to join this month, but if you only host challenge groups when you feel like it, when they're ready to join a challenge group, and if you don't have one ready to go and you can't give them a date and say, oh, I have a challenge group starting the first Monday of every single month. So if they can't make this one, I let them know that there's another one coming up a month from now. But if you don't have a challenge group, like if you don't have a challenge group for Shift Shop right now, guess what? There are coaches who do. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to reach out to people that said no last month to you, but now that they're ready, there's going to be another coach reaching out to them and they're going to join their challenge group instead because you didn't consistently host your challenge groups. So that's the first thing. No matter what, if everyone says no to you hosting a challenge group, it doesn't matter. Then you just start planning for your next one. And if you only have 2 people in that challenge group, you give those 2 people everything you've got and a little bit more. You love on them, you pour onto them, you hold them accountable. A challenge group of 2 people sounds glorious to me because that means I can really connect and really dig in with people. Everyone wants to have these huge challenge groups, but if you can't handle 2 people, you probably won't be able to handle 10, 20 people in your challenge group. Until you learn how to get successful at running them and being consistent with them, it's just building up your skill set to run successful challenge groups to figure out what's working and what's not. I've had horrible challenge groups. I've had challenge groups that have started and then like no one has been in them or like people to stop responding. And I'm like, oh crap, what did I do wrong? And then I'll ask them, what can I do to make this better for you? What can I do to help you? What can I do to keep you accountable? And they'll say, oh, I'm not into Facebook or I'm not into this. Or today I had a young woman say, I'm just frustrated because the number on the scale isn't moving. And so I said, okay, you know what? The number on the scale isn't moving, but have you noticed anything else that's changed? And we started talking about all these non-scale victories. And then she's like, oh, I guess you're right. But she still was focused on the number on the scale. So I said, you know what? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I want you to document all the food that you're eating and send it to me. And then I'm going to take a look at it and see if there's anything that we can change in your diet to help you to move it. She's already drinking Shakeology. And I said, and then what we can do is we can make plans for the next month's challenge group. Since you're still drinking Shakeology and you love it, just keep it going. So I already have my first person set up for my next challenge group because she already got some results, but she wants to really kick it up a notch. So I'm going to work with her on her nutrition a bit more. That's what a coach does. You don't let your people fall off and then say, well, they're not responding, so I'm not going to reach out. Well, they're not responding to me when I'm saying, hey, how's it going? Why don't you get real and say, hey, I noticed that you haven't been posting. What's going on? Are you okay? Is there something I can help you with? What do you need from me to hold you accountable? What do you need from me to make reaching your goals work a little bit better? After you're hosting your challenge groups, you go through the 5-step invite process, you guys. Every single coach on our team has the 5-step invite process, and I've crafted it off of how I work my business and how I invite and how I move it in a way that's all about helping people. The first thing you do is you invite people to your challenge group. Second, you identify their goals and their challenges, because you can't really know if they're going to be a good fit for your challenge group unless you know what their goals are, you know what their challenges are. Once they share their goals and their challenges, I make a recommendation based off of that. I don't tell them I don't tell them what I want them to know. I tell them what they need to hear about based off their goals. So if they're telling me they're struggling with nutrition, then I'm going to make sure they understand how important that is, and that if they really want to reach their goal of losing 20 pounds in the next 3 months, then they have to dial in their nutrition. That's going to mean proper portions, eating the proper foods, drinking Shakeology every single day. That's number one. And I will make a recommendation off of that. It will be some form of a challenge pack. Once I make the recommendation, I talk to them about the challenge pack. Once they say that they're interested, then I send them the link. And then once they purchase, or while they're getting ready to purchase, I work with them too to explain a little bit more about the challenge group. I send them videos about how to use a challenge tracker app. I talk to them about I send them a video of how to use the portion control containers. I send them recipes. I send them Shakeology recipes. I make sure that before they even get in the challenge group, they feel so supported and so loved and so looked after that they are excited to get going. Because the first week of the challenge group can really make or break the rest of their group experience. So as you go through that 5-step invite process, make sure that you are really paying attention to what they're saying, that you're really pouring into them. And then the last thing you want to do is be a coach. You want to make sure that you're posting daily in your challenge groups, but not just posting and using the posts that you get from the challenge tracker guide, which are great. They're great because they give you content to share every single day. So you don't have to think about it. You just copy it and you paste it. So you have tons of resources. But also make sure you're interacting. Are you commenting and responding to their posts? Are you giving them feedback? If you see that they're not checking in, are you following up with them? Or if you see them post a meal that they may think is healthy, but you're like, that's really not healthy, hold them accountable and say, hey, listen, I love that you're really getting into like cooking and not eating out as much. And one way that you can really make this meal even healthier is by swapping out the brown rice or the white rice with brown rice. And here's why. Sometimes we have to do our due diligence and really dig in and hold our people accountable and don't let them quit. Because here's reality. There are many other network marketing companies out there that are selling shakes and pills and wraps and other things. And the biggest difference between our company and other companies is that we have this support system. So we're not just saying, buy this challenge pack and good luck. We're saying, get this challenge pack. You get the tools that you need. You get the support you need from me, and you are going to get me to hold you accountable. I'm not going to leave you high and dry and say, just drink the shakes. It'll be fine. It'll be great. I will reach out to you when it's ready for you to order another one. There are people who have had that happen to them so many times in the past that they are so skeptical. They are so hurt and they feel so mistreated by people who are only out to make a sale. That is why we are Beachbody coaches. We are not Beachbody reps. We are not Beachbody distributors. We are not Beachbody marketers. We are Beachbody coaches. And it is your responsibility, if someone believes enough in you to be their coach, to invest in a challenge pack or Shakeology, and you don't do your job to hold them accountable and to stay connected. And even if they don't respond, you still check in with them. You still let them know that you're there. You don't give up on them because they've already given up on themselves. They already feel bad about it. And then when you walk away and you turn your back on them, how do you think they're going to feel? They're going to put you in the same category as everyone else. And they're going to keep going. And another coach who's going to be really invested and who's going to really make the time and effort for them is going to reach out to them. And that coach is going to change their life. And they're going to realize that that was what they needed. They needed a coach who was going to invest and believe in them. And if you are not willing to do that for your people, then you probably shouldn't be hosting challenge groups. You probably shouldn't be trying to get people to purchase products and programs for you because you're going to let people down. And then they're totally fine to go to another coach. I know personally, I've had many people that have come to me and said, my coach left me high and dry. My coach doesn't do the things that you do. I want to be a part of your team. I want to be in your next challenge group. And I'll say, okay, listen, like, this is how it goes. This is how it works. Are you sure you want to switch? Are you sure? What's your relationship with that coach? I will ask all those questions first, and even if they don't want to switch, I'm still going to help them. Because I know that by me pouring into them and by me doing that, it gets returned back to me and the greater good. But if you are out there and you are just, trying to make a sale, or you're so focused on Success Club for the sake of Success Club instead of Success Club for helping people, then you are in the wrong business. And this is not what we do as coaches. And I'm telling you right now, if that's what you're looking for and that's what you're focused on, then this may not be the best opportunity for you, because we are about changing the lives of people. And that means that each of us has to rise up to be the coach that we've been called to be. And for each of us to be the coach that I know each and every one of you are, because you're on this team. And the reason why you're on this team is because I believe in you. The coach that brought you onto this team believed in you because of the values of this team. The values of this team are very fundamental. It is helping people to push through their struggles, push through their obstacles, push through their challenges, push through their excuses, and fight for themselves. Fight for their health. Fight for their future. Fight for what they want. And that is who we are as Limitless Warriors. We lead by example, we motivate and inspire, and we support and provide structure for people in our challenge groups, and we don't let our people quit. And that is who we are. So hopefully that gives you a better idea of what I would expect out of each and every one of you on this team. And I want you to really ask yourself this question. At the very beginning of this call, I asked you, what would you want in a coach? What would that look like? And so now I'm asking you, what would you want to work with you? If you were on your journey, if you were struggling to get healthy and fit, based off of your actions and how you are committed to this business, would you want to work with you? What kind of coach are you? And if you are not the coach that you want to be, then go back to the basics, you guys. Go back to the very beginning and really do that. So let's talk about this a little bit, guys. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Let's talk about it. I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody. But let's just talk a little bit about coaching and all of this stuff and kind of what you feel. And if anything I said resonated with you, if I ruffled some feathers, then that's exactly what I wanted to do, because I had to get my feathers ruffled when I was at Summit, having coaches like, why aren't you Star Diamond? Why aren't you doing this? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I was freaking out. But that's what I needed, because people believed in me. People at corporate are like, what are you doing? What is going on over there? And I'm going to do the same thing. If you are not where you want to be in your business, one, you guys know I am here to do whatever I can. That's why that's why I left Equinox. You guys were the biggest reason why I left a very stable and secure training position, because I wanted to make sure that we had what we needed to elevate to the next level. So let's talk about it. We have like 20 minutes or so to talk about that. So let me see, I'm going to unmute you guys. Anyone can feel free, but let's just open up a discussion about it. Woo. All right. Table's open. Anyone want to talk? Anyone want to share anything that you want to work on?
Can
be
y'all
more
hear me?
consistent.
Whoop.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Somebody was talking. Go ahead.
You got the floor. Okay. Yeah. What up, though?
All right. So, okay, Michael, what's going on? So what's your takeaway, or what's your input right now? Or what's your challenge?
Yeah, apologies for being a little late. I had a few things I had to take care of, but just based off what you were just saying, what I can be better at is probably, I would say, do more inviting. It works. 5-step process is a gem. You guys have heard me talking about it in chat groups. Man, it works. You just gotta kind of tinker with it a little bit according to how the conversation with the person. So I think with that being a help, and it's allowing me to talk to more people now, and inviting people. So I think for me it's more of the invite. Once they're in, I'm pretty good. I can, float around because I love to talk to people. That's just me. So you're right about what you said, Allison. Our first challenge, and Allison was in it. I had about 4 or 5 people. I thought I was rocking and rolling, and nobody participated. Nobody. I was the only one posting in there, and it was crazy. So this group that I have now, there was 3 people. One got hurt, one got injured, not from the exercise, got injured at work. So, but she'll be joining. You guys may know her. She's Lisa. She's the coach. She's older, and yeah. So she's going into my next challenge next month. So she's resting up now. She's doing her thing, drinking her Shakeology. She's eating right. She's in my detox challenge. She's going to be in my 5-day free cleaning challenge. She's working with me. I'm guiding her. So that's once again practice for me and helping me deal with those issues. The other 2 that are in my group right now, husband and wife, they're interested in being a coach, but it's much better with a small group of people. They say less is more. So I'm having a blast with them, and they are losing weight and everything. They're a little shy, put it out there, put themselves out there. They want to, so you got to work with them and be patient. But once again, that's teaching me as well. This is the type of people that, they don't want to put themselves out there like that yet. So you got to be patient with them. But I'm always having conversations. I think I'll see you be peeking in my my Facebook group sometimes with the 7-tone challenge, and I'm constantly posting. But I use the challenge group guide, but when I do that, they definitely always respond and react. And I always have conversations with them, asking, answering questions. I post recipes sometimes I get from my Facebook. I just try to be creative with it. So I think for me, I'm learning that skill set of running the challenge with a small group of people. So now it's like, okay, I know my number limit.
Yeah.
So how many people? Right. I know my number limit. Yeah, when I watch videos, give me 3 to 5 people. That's it. Like I'm not taking on.
And that's it. Like 3 to 5 people, that's Success Club. 3 to 5 people is Success Club 10 right there.
Yep.
Here, you don't need to have a lot of people in your challenge groups to feel successful. That's not what it's about. And I think to your point, and Michael, you do a really great job. You share recipes, you are digging in, you make sure, like I always get alerts like, he's posting again. I'm like, that's what people need, And when people feel you connecting with them and being that coach for them, even if they aren't checking in or logging in, they'll tell you, I may not be logging in, but I'm following along. I'm doing it. So we can't sometimes, we can't validate our success by the check-ins or the interactions from people sometimes, because that's not always going to be an indicator of them. You can't control that, but what you can control as a coach is your consistency to continuing to post and to share and to lead. That's on you. And if you can just commit to that, they'll stay connected to you in the way that's comfortable for them. Yeah, that was great. Shaylin, what about you? What's up with you?
Well, so basically I am like in a process of starting from ground zero, from the ground up, in the Beachbody business, only because I feel like I feel like I took off a little bit too fast in the beginning, and it was overwhelming for me, even though I was getting people to join the team. But at the same time, like I had people drop off the team. And I just want to be able to make sure that I'm staying consistent and true to myself. I mean, yes, I want to be a team builder. That's my goal, is to be a team builder. I'm not really. I mean, if people want to purchase products, cool, but I genuinely just want to build a team. Mm-hmm. And I want to make sure that I'm building a solid team. So I'm taking time out to learn the business and make the business work for me, because now initially I felt that, you know, my insecurity was people wouldn't see me as a coach because I'm overweight or whatever. But now people are starting to respect me and see me as a coach now. I'm investing more time into researching a lot of, like I just did a review for the movie What the Health, and people were sharing that, and I've been giving workshops at my church and they are like loving it. So now I'm just in the process of trying to meet with the pastors. I shared the video, but nobody responded yet. And I need to figure out a way how I can get this information out, because I think for me, I think that because not a lot of people in Detroit sell Beachbody that I know of personally, the people here in my hometown, they need to see it. I feel like they need to see it firsthand, touch it firsthand, do the workouts firsthand with somebody holding their hand. Mm-hmm. You know, so yes, I do want to still reach out to the online community, but right now my heart and passion is to build it at home first, within my church community. And I think from now until the end of the year, I think I want to kind of shift gears a little bit, because now I have the consistency going on with working out every day. I'm talking to people every day. I'm adding to my network. I'm doing the vital behaviors, but I still get that objection. Well, I don't have any money and that's too expensive. So I'm still trying to work around those objections. However, you know, I'm really loving the fact that Beachbody is taking a new turn and including kids into a lot of the programs and having like the daily sunshine and that type of stuff. So I really feel like that I want to kick it up a notch, because people know me and I get the most compliments off of having my kids in my videos. So that's what I really want to focus on, the family. So that's pretty much where I'm at right now with the business.
That's awesome. And that's really what it's about. You know, it's like sometimes we let our belief that like, and I know, and that I'm glad you brought that up, because I know, Shaylin, for you'd said that a few times when you first got back into coaching, and you're like, I want to be this. And I'm like, just be yourself, you know, because again, no one's expecting you to be perfect. All people are saying is like, I just need help. And your situation is really interesting, because Detroit really is like in a state of emergency. And you have this great opportunity to really change in the lives of a lot of people. And, you know, so your approach is going to be a little bit different, but, you know, you can still share and inspire and motivate, but the structure and support may happen on the face-to-face. And that's perfectly fine too. You know, So I think, you know, again, for both of you both have said, like, you know, the invite process, you know, just getting out there and inviting people, because the more people that you invite, the more people that you reach out to help, you get better at understanding how to overcome objections, how to help them through the process, and build their confidence in you as their coach. But we can't let the wind get knocked out of our sails when someone says no or gets an objection, because they're valid. You know, we can every objection I've ever heard, I can completely relate. I'm like, I understand that, because that was actually an objection I had when I first started. Absolutely. I totally understand where you're coming from. You know, and you can talk through that with people. And sometimes for people just to hear that you also had that objection, but yet you still did it anyway. You know, when someone says, well, I don't have the time. Okay, well, you just said that you just got diagnosed with diabetes and that you can't really afford your medication and all this stuff going on. But how much money do you spend per month on your medication? $300? And I'm offering you a challenge pack option, and I will work with you and hold you accountable to eventually you won't have to pay just the medication, not even the medical bills alone. And insurance companies now are not really supporting those types of, you know, disorders, you know, or those conditions, I should say. So it's like, if you're saying that, then let's just make a commitment together. Just give me 30 days. You can return stuff if you don't do it, but like, at least have enough belief in yourself to try. and to know that you're going to try with someone on your team this time. You're not going to do it by yourself. You know, there's that one meme on Facebook. It's like, if you can believe in Santa Claus for 8 years of your life, you can believe in yourself for 30 days. You know, like you can at least believe in yourself for 30 days if you can believe in all this other stuff. So, you know, just keep going, you know, and keep pushing. And as long as people know your heart, it's all good. You know, that's the most important thing. When people really feel where you're coming from, they may not have the money, they may not have the time yet, but when they are, and when they do, and they see that you're still around and you're still helping people in spite of them saying no, they're going to come to you because you stayed consistent. But if you let that one person say no to you and cause you not to do a challenge group again or whatever, guess what? They're going to go to someone else who is still there. Or someone else is going to see something amazing in them and say, you should be a coach. I'm like, you know what? You're right. I'm ready now. I wasn't ready last month. I wasn't ready last year. But now I am. And you're nowhere to be found. But there's some other coach who's hungry and ready to change their own life and help other people change their lives. And they're going to get that person. So just something to kind of think about there. But, you know, you guys are doing great. I don't want you to think that you're not. You guys are actually, I find that we are also very hard on ourselves. But you guys are doing a great job. You really are. So just keep with it, girlie. Keep with it. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Does anyone else want to say anything? You can put it in the chat or you can just unmute yourself. I'm just trying to keep people muted. And if not, I'll let you guys go. But if anyone has anything to say, I already talked to Anna.
Something to say.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Today was my last day. I have completed the Insanity Fitness program.
What? You guys, this is so exciting. Okay, I'm like so pumped up because Mike said he has started and stopped this program so many times in the past. Oh my, I have like goosebumps. I'm like so excited for you. That is amazing. And you're like disappearing. Like from the first picture to now, it's like your face. All of his friends are making fun of him. They're like, look at that neck. Look at that neck. Your neck is getting smaller.
Yeah, that is why all kind of jokes was going all over the place. A lot of them, you know, most of them I play college football with, so you know they always tease me. But yeah, it was a journey. It was a journey. There were some days I was like, man, I don't know. This insanity is going. And month 2, it was like you just started all over, man. All them that's on this. Oh God, man, it was for 55 minutes doing it.
Yep.
Crazy. It was really insane. But you know, that first week or second month, you know, things started to get back on track. Strength started coming again. And so I'm making a nice little video about my journey, you know, for Insanity. And I'm putting it out there. I work too damn hard, so I'm gonna really do it up big with this video a little bit. Put a little busy behind it, but you know, I got through it, guys. I know a lot of people, you know, it's not a lot. Thank you, appreciate it. I know a lot of people haven't finished it, or it's really intense. I get it. I know why, but I know I can say now, any new coaches coming on board, if they ever doing this, I can definitely tell them that journey, or I can coach them to that. I think that's a good thing to finish programs. You know, it's a good tool to use to coach, to help people get through these programs. So, you know, as far as knowing them, and you know, one thing is knowing about what you can do, but if you've actually gone through it and finished it, you can really like know where they're at in their steps.
Exactly.
In months and stuff like that. So, Sandy, I would recommend it to everybody. I wouldn't.
No, but that's exactly it. You know, that's what it's about. When you push through and do it yourself, it builds. You now know you can say, you know what, day 45 was probably the toughest day for me, and you can, you know, talk to them there. You can keep them motivated. You can keep them going because you've been there. And it doesn't mean that you have to do every single program, but as long as you've committed to at least one program, you know what it's like to start something and complete it. And you know that you're going to go through that same process. So definitely, you know, you're right. It's a huge tool. And when you talk to new coaches, it's a big part of it, because when they see your results, they're like, I want to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, that's,
Yeah, that's what it was for me. It was, I think, too, it's more so now, even during the journey, I had to stop by inviting in because I was going, it's a mental, it's physical, but I got past that, it's more mental. And it was at a point where I was like, I just need to finish this. So I actually stopped inviting and I kind of put a few things to the wall because it was too much for my mentals. And, then I was like, all right, things started to calm down. I was like, all right, I'll get back on the road with this. But, it's, getting through a program while you're running a business, over. Yeah.
yeah.
I got over that hump. It's a hump. You got to get over that.
Yeah. And that's where personal development also helps too, you guys. When you're struggling, that's why look, the reason why I'm so obsessed with this company is because all the things that we need to do on a daily basis make us better. We're basically told from corporate, make sure you work out, make sure you drink a very nutritious shake, make sure that you invest in personal development to make sure that you are strong mentally and emotionally and spiritually, and then go out there and connect with people and help them and then celebrate their victories and their successes. Like, that's all that we really have to do. There's nothing negative about what we have to do as coaches. And I don't know any other business out there or any corporate job. I've been in corporate jobs where it's like, lie to your clients, do all this real shady stuff, throw people under the bus, lie to your manager, all these things to get ahead. And here we are in a business where the way to get ahead is by taking care of yourself and taking care of others. Like, it just kind of doesn't get any better than that, you guys. So we have like time for like maybe one more person. Like, if anyone else wants to say something, you can unmute yourself, but if not, then I will let you guys go. But yeah, you guys, nice job. Hopefully you were able to take this call. We're going to keep doing these calls every single Wednesday. So feel free to hop on. They'll be at the same time, the same place. And on Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I have one of my really good friends, Kenesha Morrison. I'll post it in the Warriors group. Kenesha Morrison, she is with Unique, which is like a makeup network marketing company. Cool. Okay. Anna Marie's excited. Yeah. Her story is so amazing. I don't even really know how we got connected. I don't really know how we got connected, but we've been friends now for 6 years, and she literally just took the opportunity and just like went for it. And it's just been really, really great. And it's been so amazing to watch her just crush it and build. She's one of the top people in the company. She's one of the first African-American top people in the country or in the company. Was one of the first to be in the company brochure magazines. Lives in a small town, I think Mississippi. She's a mom she's a mother, she's a wife. She's just all heart and all motivation and all mindset, and she just didn't stop. So hopefully this call will really motivate you guys, because she has been such a motivation to me and has been such a rock for me in some really hard times. So I asked her if she'd get on the team call tonight. She couldn't make it tonight, but she is going to get on a team call on Monday. So be prepared to dig in with her. You'll probably cry. She'll probably cry. I'll probably cry. But her story is just so powerful, and I'm just lucky to have her. And that's what I want to start doing, is bringing in more people besides me, because I know you guys get sick and tired of me running my mouth talking about just do the 4 vital behaviors and just invite and believe in yourself. So I'm going to start bringing in other people. I want to get Micah Folsom, who is one of your peers, one of my personally sponsored coaches. She's a Superstar 2 Diamond coach. So I'll get her in to talk to on our team calls to share about her journey. So, guys, this is it. Like I said 2 weeks ago when I was at Summit, now is the time to lean all the way in. You lean in with me, I lean right back into you. We finished this year stronger than we've ever finished before. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm pushing hard for you guys. I'm making the time. Whatever you need from me, I'm here. But again, you lean on me, I lean on you, and that's how we succeed. So I will see you guys in the group. This will be recorded. I will send it off to you guys. If you have any other questions, let me know. But thank you guys for always being so amazing. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye.